Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm working on the 360 that needs to go into the Valiant, and I came out this week, messed with it a little bit, and look in here, this is all rust that whenever I pulled these freeze plugs out, there was rust left in the block from whenever the block was stored. So it was stored, I guess there was a little bit of water left in there, and just over the last 6 or 7 years sitting on the engine stand, it just you know, it rusted up. That's my fault. I should have drained the water out of it. I thought it was drained, but I should have rolled it over and made sure everything was out of it. So lesson learned on that. Also, last video we did cam bearings, and after I cleaned out the holes here, actually took the engine outside, sprayed it down again with degreaser, and blew out all the passages. So I got the water hose and blew it through here, and it looks like I need to get the air hose and get just a little bit more debris out of there. So did that. Also put oil in the cylinders again, and also in the lifter bores, so make sure no rust accumulated there. But it's coming along. Today's order of business: first off, get the freeze plugs in, and then as you can see, we have an engine tech kit here, and I went ahead and opened up these piston rings, and they look exactly like the sealed power I just put in my 318, which is right there. And top ring, it's just a rectangle ring. There's no top or bottom specified on that. On our second ring, we do have an indication here of top. So as you can see there, it says top. Now the sealed power rings didn't have that. They had a dot on there, but if you look at the side profile of the ring, it has a taper on the bottom inside of the ring. So that looks exactly like, even though it doesn't have the dot on it like the sealed power, it still has that top or the shape as the sealed power. And then these have the exact same look as the sealed power rings. So as I was saying before in another video, it says Engine Tech on here, but I believe what they do is they just buy bulk and ship it in their packages. And another thing, here's the rod bearings. And when you look on the side of the rod bearing, I'll give you a better look later, but hopefully you can see right there, it says King and 805. Well, it doesn't say King, my bad. It has a K on it that looks like the King bearing emblem, and then it has 805. I did a Google search, and a King 805 in fact is for a small block Chrysler. So have that. Didn't look at these also have a K on it. So a K 517 standard, so I would assume that would be the same, just a King bearing packaged in a Engine Tech package there. Have a ring filer here, piston ring filer, so after the freeze plugs go in, plan on gapping the rings to 28 thousandths. I am gonna do both top and second ring. So what I found is I'll put it in the link in the description, on Wiseco's website, and also Total Seal, I believe. They have an indication of, or a specification of 7 thousandths per inch of bore. So that's with boost. So they have like 5 thousandths for standard engine, 5 thousandths per inch of bore, and they just have a list. So I'll put that in the description. But we have 4-inch bore, 7 thousandths per inch, so we're going 28 thousandths. So I'm gonna gap rings 1 and 2 the same. I found an article that kind of made sense to me. I'm not gonna follow it to the T, but some people gap the second ring tighter, and this article recommends gapping the second ring a little wider than the first ring. And the reason being, under boost, if you get blow by from the first ring and it gets stuck in between this first and second ring, because the second ring gap is tighter than the top ring, then it has a possibility of blowing the first ring up and breaking the top of the piston. So Here you can see the piston. If combustion gets caught in between these two rings, it could possibly blow the top ring up under boost. So makes sense to me that have a little wider second groove gap. That way it can blow by into the engine. I have a catch can. It'll be fine. So I'm just going to gap them the same instead of having the lower one wider. I feel comfortable doing that. So I'm going to get to work on these freeze plugs. So change of plans. I was doing the piston ring gap, and just to make things neater, what I was going to do is gap all the rings, put all the rings on here, and then just have them sitting there ready to go in the engine. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and drop in the crankshaft, do the plastic gauge, and that way whenever I put the piston in, or whenever I get the rings on the piston, I can just go ahead and put it in and be done with it. So here I have my thrust bearing, and I just wanted to show you the marking on it. Like I told you, it has a K on it, like King's bearing. Let's see how we can get some light here. But anyway, there you go. Looks like a King bearing to me. But I'm gonna go ahead and install all the bearings, plastic gauge it, and then we can get back to gapping the rings. Day 2 on the 360 build. I've been out here for a little while already, a couple hours. But yesterday, I was just like really tired, don't know why, and I felt like I was gonna make a mistake if I kept working on it. So after I put the crankshaft in, I just went ahead and quit for the day. But as you can see so far today, I've got pistons 1 and 2 in. I'm working on number 3 right now. And as far as gapping these rings go, these are all, like every cylinder is about the same. The bottom one's 21 thousandths. And the top is about 22, 23. So about 20 to 30 turns on each one, depending on how much pressure I'm putting on it, is giving me the 28 thousandths that I want. So, and also as I'm going, putting new bearings in and using the plastic gauge to do that. So just taking my time and moving really slow, a lot slower than I thought actually, but it doesn't really matter. It's about 5:45, just ate dinner, so just gonna keep working. So it's now 9 o'clock. See, it's dark. Really didn't expect it to take this long, but like I said, I was taking my time, making sure everything's right. And you know, these aren't as clean as the 318 came, but they're gonna be fine. I really like how everything went together. The rings, I had one that I got a little bit loose, a little bit over 28 thousandths. Not a big deal. I mean, I barely got it over. And then one I had just a slight little taper on the edge. So anyways, they went together good. I like it. The bottom end's all torqued. I really like how the finish is on my cylinders. I think that turned out good. But yeah, making progress. Next up, I'm gonna have to put the camshaft in, and I have a new timing set But as far as the bottom end goes, the oil pump's not on because I need the pickup and the oil pan out of the car, because that's the only center sumped oil pan I have. Everything else is truck oil pans, like that one down there. So have to wait until the engine comes out of the car before I get that onto the block. And then also there's one cylinder head still on the engine, and then the driver's side cylinder head's right there. So anyway, good day in the garage. A little bit longer than I thought, but anyway, not a big deal. The main thing is getting the car back up and running. So anyway, I got a lot of cleaning up to do. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Gonna make some good progress on the car this week, I hope. And yeah, see y'all guys next time.